what a midlife crisis looks like. My midlife crisis. I apologize for not getting a video up yesterday. I fully intended to. However, when I got to my friends here on the east coast of Florida, uh, we just spent all that time together. Everything just went right out of my head, the things that I needed to do. My friend's mother had told me to make sure that I let her know when I got here, and it was my intention as soon as I parked the car to let her know. That went straight out of my head. So I was here for like 40 minutes by the time I remembered and contacted her. So my brain was just all over the place. This is a friend of mine. We were best friends all growing up, shoulder to shoulder, hip to hip. You could hardly separate us. So I was excited about getting to see her, and I didn't realize how excited until I got pretty close. Looked at the GPS. It gave me an ETA of 6 minutes, and I started getting like teary-eyed, like my eyes were welling up. It's like, oh, calm down, Diana. Wait till you see her. So that was like so exciting. I was so excited about that. So this morning, she's got an appointment. She ran off to her appointment, and she said when she gets back, we're going to like spend the day together. I'm so excited. She's talking about spending the day at the beach. Yeah, remember that sunburn? I'm going to have to go find me some extremely high SPF because I can't fry anymore. It was stung for like 3 days, the sunburn did. It's going to take a few days or so, maybe a few weeks or months for my skin to get used to the sun. Okay, so I drove from my friend's parents' house in Deltona yesterday to my girlfriend's house here in Port Richie. And that was a 3-hour drive, well, 10 minutes short of 3 hours because I don't drive highways. Even driving highways, it still would have been close to 3 hours anyway. And I did that by myself, and that's a super achievement for me. Even in my own home state, I never drove more than hour and 10, hour and 20 minutes by myself. Anything outside of that, like I had somebody with me, typically like a licensed driver or somebody else was doing the driving. So that was like super for me. It was like a super achievement. And I don't know, probably seems weird because I'm like 50 now. I turned 50 day before yesterday. And I had never driven more than an hour and never drove by myself on roads I didn't know. So that was a super achievement. And I'm not going to tell you that it wasn't nerve-wracking at all. It was a little bit nerve-wracking, especially since the way that the traffic is here is so different from New York. But as I was driving along, the GPS told me to take the on-ramp to route whatever it was and merge into traffic. That sounded way too much like highway. I don't drive highways. And I got a little freaked out and I was like, no. And it went straight instead of turning. And then the GPS, of course, rerouted and is having me turn here, turn here, turn there. And I'm like, holy cow, I hope it rerouted it right. Then I thought to look at the ETA, and I looked at the ETA, and it really only was about 2 or 3 minutes longer to avoid that route that just looked like and felt like a highway. I just couldn't do it. So that was cool. I also, the original route, when I was reading on my GPS, there were bridges that I was going to have to go over, a couple of them big ones, bigger than I'd driven prior to that. The ones that I drove prior to that, I had, a driver in the car with me, so if I had to get out, somebody could have taken over. And I was a little nervous at the idea of having to go over these big bridges that I seen on the map by myself. But it must have been on that route that I decided not to take because there wasn't a single bridge over water that I had to take to get here on my 3-hour drive. It was actually a pretty nice 3-hour drive for the most part. It was like country driving. So that was great. And I'll tell you, Florida's a pretty, flat state. But you know what? The 3 mountains it does have, I had to drive over. Of course I'm going to find the mountains, right? Not that they're mountains, but real mountains. They were hills, big hills for Florida. my girlfriend's boyfriend told me that there was a spine of hills or whatever right down the center of Florida. And of course I had to find them because that's what I do, right? I find the most difficult things to drive, like Pennsylvania. So today we're going to just be chilling, I don't know, at a beach or something like that. She was talking about some place to go to where they pull up sponges out of the water, like sea sponges. I'm not sure what they're called, so that's going to be neat. You know, I've only ever seen them in the store up in New York, and she was saying, like, some of them are hard, like pumice stone, and some of them are super soft, and so that's going to be cool. Maybe I'll grab a few and send them up to my daughters while I'm there. And the great part is, I hadn't seen this friend of mine in 27 years, and she's like 50 minutes away from where I'm going to be living. We're just 50 minutes away from each other. That's off the highway. I don't know if there's a highway from here to there, you know, between my place and her place. But, you know, I am going to be able to get to see her sometimes. I'm so excited. Yay. We're not as crazy as we were when we were younger. Not anywhere near as crazy as we were when we were younger. We are both so grateful that none of our kids pulled half the crap we did. It's amazing we're alive. It's crazy stuff. Good times. So we did some reminiscing, and we did some, you know, catching up, and she took me out to dinner, her and her boyfriend. Oh, and I gotta say, I like her boyfriend. There's not too many boyfriends that my friends have that I like, but this one I like. She did good. Good girl. So today I'm going to leave here, Port Richie, probably about 4 o'clock-ish, and drive to my final destination. Get down there to Clearwater and get down to see my aunt. And the closer we get to that time, the more excited I get. And I'm thinking like the more excited she gets too. So we message pretty much every night. Oh, and she's like, don't eat. Gonna feed you when you get here. Okay. So it'll be about 5-ish when I get to see my aunt. I will not be getting a video up tonight because I'm going to be busy with my aunt. And I don't know. It's like, what am I going to do once I get to where I'm going? I haven't a stinking clue. I'm going to have to figure that one out. I know what I don't want to do. The grind. I'm not doing the grind for the rest of my life. Oh, no. Not happening. I don't care if I've got to be a bum on the beach. I'm not doing that grind. So, there it is. Update on my midlife crisis. My trip from New York to Florida, which I had left last Tuesday. What the heck is the date today? Wednesday. So it's been a week and a day, 8 days since I left New York. So it would be, 8 days from New York to Florida. Well, from central New York to Clearwater, Florida, 8-day trip. And it's been pretty great. Feeling, of course, quite like vacation, just kind of like bouncing around and seeing people. It's been awesome. So, I don't know, probably a video tomorrow at least lets y'all know that I'm where I'm at, and maybe together we can figure out what I'm going to do next. So, if you haven't clicked subscribe yet, click subscribe. Follow me along on this midlife crisis journey. If you yourself have had a midlife crisis, any experience with it, please pop something in the comment section below. I still have yet to connect with someone else who's, suffered or dealt with midlife crisis and how they dealt with it, what changes they went across. That would be so nice to connect with people like that, because it's seeming to me like this might not come to an end. So follow me along on this midlife crisis journey and see if I survive.